before we move into some next steps. It's so cool to have you on here. I've known Rubelyn quite a while, back from my days working in university, where I would connect with her. She was working in a recruiting firm focused on diversity recruiting, and I would often send her candidates to connect to. And I always heard fantastic experiences on how well she treated people as humans in a recruiting process. It's easy when you're in a recruiting or a placement process to feel like you're just some cog in a machine or a piece on a bigger puzzle. And so I've always appreciated you. And today she is a vice president at an organization called Access To, and it's focused on diversity recruiting. So great. I just want to get your reflections because I know you're a thoughtful person, but also great plug if anyone ever needs to have some recruiting help, specifically in diversity recruiting. I know we got a couple of recruiters on the line too who could connect with you as partners. Reach out to Rubelyn. But Rubelyn, you got to hear me wade through the jungle of emotional intelligence. I don't know if I got all the way out yet. And you also had the opportunity to get into a lively conversation with some folks. And you put in the chat, I'm super curious, what was worth paying attention to for you personally in our time together today?
I think if anything, it's everyone has heightened the emotional intelligence conversation. That's amazing, because I don't think it has been put on the spot very, very much so until we have our hands against the wall in times like we are today. So I think said everyone is being more on their toes and being more aware of their teams. And as I was saying in the group chat that I was with in that room, that it's important to be kind to yourself and give yourself grace. Now that we are jumbled in a home where it's like you're working from home and then you have your personal life, you can't really turn it off. I don't have kids on my own, but my business partners, they both have kids. And so when we're in meetings, regardless, like I see Megan there. Yesterday I had to carry my niece while I was talking to a huge executive known here in Washington State. I kept apologizing. I was like, I'm sorry, my nieces are here, and they were very, very graceful, saying hi to my nieces and having a conversation with them. So with that said, I think it's very important now, more than ever, being more aware of everyone's situation.
Yeah. What is in the work you do and in just what you just described with that mix, that blend of work and life, I think we're all experiencing. What does emotional regulation look like for you in this season, and what is it allowing you to do it well?
I think holding up boundaries and being way more understanding than you would be when you're in an office setting. Being graceful, letting your employees and your team take a break when they really, really need to, not when they're almost empty on their whole cup. But I think if you're seeing the signs and you're being able to read them from afar and from a screen, and you can pretty easily spot on what is happening with your team if you guys are all in sync. If not, then I suggest to be able to have that one-on-one and take the time, at least 5-10 minutes, because you're as myself, I'm speaking for myself, I'm not sure how everyone else does it, but for me, I can definitely see intuitively what is happening with my team if we're not all succinct. That's why I kind of require my team to be on camera, because I can see in that sense what their faces like if they're actually here.
Yeah, it's harder to actually read it, right, virtually versus face to face. Gosh, so much good stuff, Rubelyn. I think as I hear your reflections, I'm just even finding myself thinking about what that looks like for me, and I like that paying attention, because what it was really making me think of is a big takeaway for me is paying closer attention to others in this season as so many things are happening. I think that's why this concept continues to have a lot of interest. So thanks for jumping in there. So let me tell you, here's what's going to be coming up. We're continuing our series on the leadership half-truths. We'll be getting into a lot of different topics.